After spending their entire career as a federal employee paying into the Social Security system, most feds assume they won't have to pay any taxes on their Social Security benefits, but this is simply not the case. You definitely will, and Medicare premiums, if you get on Medicare, will come out as well. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what you can expect will come out of your Social Security, because it doesn't, at the end of the day, matter what gross amount you get from Social Security. What you actually care about is net, what you actually take home after taxes and Medicare and everything's paid for. That has to come out first. So let's talk about Social Security. And at the end of the day, how it works is the amount of your Social Security that has to go to taxes will depend on your income. The lower your income, the lower amount you have to pay. And some people pay zero on Social Security, but most feds don't. Most feds do have to pay taxes, and let's talk about it. So if you are single, as we see right here, if you have less than $25,000 worth of income, and by the way, the type of income that they count for this is what they call combined income, which I'm not going to actually define that here because it kind of gets quite messy. You can Google that, but basically your income, okay? Just keep it simple for planning purposes. Just think of it as your income. But again, if you want to look up combined income for Social Security purposes, you could find the exact definition. But basically, as a single person, if you make less than 25 grand, then 0% of your Social Security is taxed. As a married couple, 32,000 is that limit. Now, as your income goes up, for example, within this range as a single person, 50% of your benefits are taxed. And then, of course, more than 34,000 or more than 44,000 as a married couple, then 85% of your Social Security will be taxed. So not all of it will be taxed, but certainly the vast majority of it for the vast majority of federal employees. Because most feds have a pension, have Social Security, have TSP, have other income sources as well, most feds are comfortably above these numbers, which means the majority of your Social Security is going to be taxable. Now, what does that mean? When we say it's taxable, does that mean the majority of it has to go to paying taxes? The answer is no. It just means the majority of it has to add into your taxable income to then calculate how much you pay overall in taxes, okay? Just like let's say if you're an active Fed right now, there's a piece of your pay that is taxable and therefore goes into the tax bracket and thing to determine exactly how much you pay in taxes, all right? So if, let's say, 85% of your Social Security is going to be taxable, then you're going to want to say, okay, if for example, if your total income from Social Security is $1,000 a month, that means 850 of it, okay, 85%, is going to be counted towards your taxable income, will go into going towards your tax bracket and those sort of things. $250 will come to you completely tax-free, all right? So that's how it works there. Now, that is what I've just covered here at this chart. This is on the federal level. No matter where you live, even if you live outside the United States, you're going to have to pay federal taxes on your Social Security. However, some states also have taxes on Social Security as well. This chart that I'm showing you right now walks you through all the main states that do. Basically, if the state you live in is gray, that state has no income tax. So you definitely won't pay state taxes on Social Security in the gray states. If you are in blue, then there might be an income tax, but they specifically don't include Social Security benefits for that purpose. So the blue states are good as well. However, the green states here do tax Social Security to some degree, but they have some exemptions based on if your income is lower, maybe they won't, things like that. And then, of course, here in orange, Utah, then basically they follow the same rules as the federal side. And then here in pink is they tax Social Security with a few modifications compared to the federal side. So basically, most states do not tax Social Security, but there are a handful, again, in green, orange, and pink that do tax Social Security with different limitations, all right? So most people at the end of the day, we found, don't pay state taxes on their Social Security, but everybody, almost everybody, pays on the federal level, assuming your income is above $25,000 as a single person or $32,000 as a married person. You're going to pay some taxes out of your Social Security. Now, what are the other things that might come out of your Social Security benefit? And I mentioned it prior. Medicare premiums. Medicare. Now, the one piece of Medicare that is most common for federal employees is Medicare Part B. Now, I've got whole videos on how FEHB works with Medicare, whether or not you want Medicare. You can go check out those videos to make sure Medicare actually makes sense for you. But let's assume for a second that it does. The amount you pay for Medicare will depend on your income. For example, if you make over $200,000, then you will pay more than the base rate. The base rate is $185 per month per person. So if you're married, then that would be for you, and then another $185 for your spouse. And again, as your income goes up, as you see here, so does the premium amount. And these premiums, if you're on Medicare and Social Security at the same time, these premiums will come directly out of your Social Security benefit. All right. So let me just give you an example of how this might play out. Let's say your Social Security benefit gross is $2,000. But let's say we've got to pay taxes. All right. And let's say 10% is what has to go to taxes. So that would be $200 off the top, has to go to taxes, and we're looking at $1,800 after that. But what if you are on Medicare, and then of course, let's say you're married as well, so that'd be $185 for you and $185 for your spouse that would have to come out. Let's round that to $300 just to keep that simple. That would mean you would actually net about $1,500 from Social Security. Again, your gross was $2,000, but you actually take home about $1,500 or so in this specific example. Obviously, your numbers will look different, but this is just a rough example to give you an idea of, okay, how much will I actually take home in retirement? So I hope this has been helpful to, number one, understand if you are going to have to pay taxes on your Social Security benefits, and to get an idea of how much Medicare is going to come out of your Social Security benefits as well. I hope that's helpful. I'll see you guys in the next video.